when you will get exposed in all kinds of situations in your life, you would have observed all kinds of ups and downs and turmoils and tortures, and this and that will happen. Your physicality will challenge you, your psychology will challenge you, your situations will challenge you, your family will challenge you, your relations will challenge you, and all sorts of things will happen. At that time, if spiritual element is alive in your life, what will happen is that you will have enough strength to handle those things. So many people, so many parents have this confusion that what is the right age for spirituality, yoga and meditation. Because some people think that spirituality means we'll do it in the age of 60s or 70s and when you'll be good for nothing. But that's not how it works. When we say spirituality, first of all, we should understand the meaning of spirituality by itself, because so many people have so many misunderstandings about what spirituality is. And that is why people have been rejecting spirituality at the first place, because there is a lot of confusion in people's mind, in parents' mind, in youth's mind. So even I have made a separate complete video about spirituality, which is there on my channel. You can go and search it out. But the video is about what is the right age for spirituality. And I am not talking about the spirituality that most of the people think, that you will have to leave the family and you will have to go to the mountains and you will have to go to temple every day and you will have to do this kind of prayer and you will have to do puja and all that crap. I'm not talking about that. Spirituality, if I just say a small definition about the spirituality, it means something beyond physicality and psychology has become a living experience for you. It is no more a scripture, it is no more a gyan, it is no more a talk. It has become a living experience for you. When it becomes a living experience, means you have become spiritual in the existential reality. So that is what the spirituality I'm talking about, not the ones that most of the people think. That is a different story altogether. So that spirituality I'm talking about. So at what age we should start into the spirituality, how much we should be dominant at what period of the time, that is what we will have the clarity about in this video. So if you go almost 300, 400, 500 years back in the education system of India, there used to be a very clear-cut framework. There used to be a very strong planning about the human life. And the human life's planning used to be like this. From the age 0 to 12, that used to be called as Balyavastha, or I would say the child's age. From the age of 0 to 12, there is no need to do any kind of spirituality, no need to do any kind of meditation or yoga. Because if you pay enough attention and look at a child, he is naturally spiritual. Because something which is physical, something which is psychological is still not that much dominant in his life. When physicality and psychology is not that much of dominant, means you are naturally spiritual. That's what the spirituality means. If you just look at a life of a child from the age of 0 to 12, he is most of the times joyful, he is most of the times exuberant and alive, and he is a complete life by itself. He is not just a psychological case, which most of the people are in their mature ages. So from the age of 0 to 12, there is no need of any kind of spirituality for the child. There are only 3 things which must be very much taken care of at that time, which are child's nourishment. He should eat well, he should play well, he should do all kinds of physical activities, he should become dynamic, or she should become dynamic. And the third one, which is important, is he or she should sleep well. So these are the 3 things which should be taken care of well from the age of 0 to 12. And he should get little bit exposure to the practical situations physically and psychology, so that his critical thinking also develops over a period of time. So the objective of the 0 to 12 age is just this, that he should develop his physicality well, he should develop his psychology well, and he should become a full-fledged child, so that he is ready for the next things which are going to happen in his life. The next stage of the life, which begins from 12 to 24, is the most critical part of a human's life, because this is the section of the life which will determine the quality of the entire life which he is going to live in his future. 0 to 12 was just developing the physicality and psychology, but 12 to 24 is something where a big transmission happens in a human's life. The first thing that you would observe from 12 to 24 is the hormonal development will begin, the sexuality will arise, the physical compulsions will arise, the psychological development will start happening. He will get exposed to the new things, he will get new ideas in his mind. If in those period of times a child or a young age guy is not balanced, is not clear, is not stable, then he would have a lot of turbulence and turmoil in his future. So it is very important that from the age of 12 to 24, people should extensively get into the spirituality, or the parents should develop their child into the spirituality at that time. And spirituality does not mean again that you take them to temple all the time. No, there are some basic meditations, there are some basic yogic practices, there are some spiritual understandings. They should gradually develop that. I'm not saying that they should not be studying, or they should not be preparing for the job, or they should not be going for fun, or they should not be going to play. All that should be happening, and it's okay. The only thing is that in those times you should try to maximize the spiritual activities in your life, because when your base is not created strong, the entire building that you're going to build upon is going to be always in insecurity, always in anxiety, and you never know what will happen into the life. So it is very important that from the age of 12 to 24 you develop a very strong foundation, for which spirituality is a big element. Because most of the childs especially will think that, oh, 12 to 24 is the age of fun, we'll have to go and have fun, sexuality, alcohol, all kinds of drugs, all kinds of fun, traveling, this, that. You do whatever the hell you want to do in your life, because you will do anyway. But the only thing is that you should give enough time to the spiritual element in the life, so that whatever the fucked up situations that you're going to get into because of your physicality and psychology can be at least handled by the spiritual strength. Because if there is no spiritual strength, your psychology and physicality will make you slave, and you would not know what the fuck to do in life. Because that's what happens to most of the teenagers. So many teenagers are these days committing suicide simply because no idea at all of the life. So it is important that 12 to 24 people should strongly get into the spirituality and do parallel things that they want to do, so that their foundation becomes stable, their foundation becomes strong, so that the future life can be built upon. The third section of the life, which comes as from the age of 24 to 48, that used to be called as Grahasthashram. So when we say Grahasthashram, means something which you get into the family situations. So from the age of 24 to 48, you will get exposed to the family situations, you will get exposed to your job, you will get exposed to your business, you will get exposed to the social situations, you will get exposed to all kinds of mess and problems that you will have in your life. Because 12 to 24 is something when you start developing your dreams, when you start developing your desires, when you start developing your material needs and all kinds of things. So from that age, when I say 24 to 48, it is not necessary to keep your spiritual element so strong as it was in 12 to 24, because in those times you would have made it strong enough. 24 to 48, you can keep the spiritual element alive in your life. I'm not saying you have to become very strong, you have to become very aggressive about it. Just keep the spiritual element alive, because when you will get exposed in all kinds of situations in your life, you would have observed all kinds of ups and downs and turmoils and tortures, and this and that will happen. Your physicality will challenge you, your psychology will challenge you, your situations will challenge you, your family will challenge you, your relations will challenge you, and all sorts of things will happen. At that time, if spiritual element is alive in your life, what will happen is that you will have enough strength to handle those things. So 24 to 48, you be extensive as much as you can with your material life, with your family situations or whatever, but keep the spiritual element alive. Not as alive as it was in 12 to 24, but keep alive. So that was Grahastha Ashram. Now comes the last stage of the life, which begins from 48 to the above. Either it is 60, 70 or 80, till whatever the age you die. In that age, what happens is you should gradually start developing the distance from all the situations that you got into. Either it was your family, or it was your society, or it was your money, or it was your desires, or it was your greed, or whatever the damn thing it was. Because ultimately now you are going to die, you must realize that. And you cannot carry bloody everything that you have done. You should taste all these things, because you should at least realize the capacity of the money, you should realize the capacity of the family, you should realize the capacity of everything that you did. But at the same time, now you have come closer to the death. Maybe not, I'm saying exactly in 48 you should be bloody become sannyasi and leave the family and go to the Himalayas and live in the cave. Not like that. At least in your psychology you should start developing the distance, because as you go closer and closer to the death, it becomes very hard. If you have too much of desire still, if you have too much of hatred, if you have too much of anger, if you have too much of unfulfillment, if you have too much of unsatisfaction in your life, what will happen is the death will become a very big challenge and torturous process. If you are happy, if you are fulfilled, if you are a little distance from the things, it will become easier for you to die. And death should happen as gracefully as you lived. So as you cross 48 or maybe 55 or 60, whatever the age you want to choose according to your comfort and convenience, it's fine. 5 years up and down is okay. But you should gradually start developing the distance from your ideas, from your emotions, from your thought process, from your family, from your situations, so that the process of leaving the life becomes a gradual and smooth process for you. So these are the 4 stages in which a human being should plan his life. 0 to 12, full on play, eat good, sleep well, play and do all kinds of things that you want to do. 12 to 24, become strongly active into the spirituality. At the same time, you develop your mind, you develop your information, you develop your education, you develop your job preparation, whatever the hell you are doing, but keep the spiritual element as strong as possible for you, because that's when you create the foundation. From the age of 24 to 48, keep the spiritual element little alive and do whatever things that you want to do in the material world, in the social world, in the family world. Do whatever the damn thing you want. But at the age of 48 to the age above, then you should start gradually developing from your own ideas and thoughts. Because one thing you will see in your life, it's bloody only your physicality and psychology which gave you all kind of suffering. Nothing else gave you. Something beyond physicality, something beyond psychology, when it becomes a living experience for you. It should not be a talk for you. It should not be a bloody gyan for you. It should not be a written thing for you. It should become a living experience for you. If it is a living experience, then something beyond physicality and psychology is so beautiful and so liberating that it can free you from all kinds of problems that you have in your life. So that should gradually become more and more and more as you go closer to the death. So these are the 4 stages that you should plan your life into. At what age you should get into the spirituality. For sure you would have get the clarity. Especially the parents should become very responsible. At the same time, youths also should become responsible, that at what age we should get into the spirituality and get the things done for their life. So that's all from this video. If you like the video, then like, subscribe the channel and share it with the people so that they get more clarity. and write into the comment section if you have any kinds of question. I'd be happy to answer back. And if you want to have more clarity on yoga, separate video is there. You want to have more clarity on meditation, separate video is there. You want to have more clarity on spirituality, because spirituality is most bloody misunderstood word today in the world. So there is a complete separate video on that also. You must watch that. You will have a lot of clarity. So that's all from the video. Thank you so much.